Afternoon, everybody. I hope you are doing very well on this Tuesday afternoon. How are we? It is the afternoon after the night before in what was an incredible game of football. Newcastle 2, Liverpool 3. That's how it ended up on the night. An incredible win for Liverpool, albeit not necessarily deserved on the performance, but deservedly so on the clinical nature of Liverpool and how we were on the night in terms of taking our chances. We were not great in terms of our overall play, and full credit goes to Newcastle for making us look very, very poor in most of the game, I would say. I wouldn't say all of it, but I would say most of the game we did look poor. But it was about taking chances, and that is what the difference on the night was. The irony being, of course, if a certain Swedish striker was on the pitch last night, Newcastle may have actually won that game. Do I have any sympathy for Newcastle in that aspect? Not really, because they've had several weeks, several months to solve that particular problem or get, or get a striker. They've had opportunities. I know they've been rejected a fair few times, but they've still had chances to do so. So I don't necessarily have too much. And of course, Anthony Gordon did ruin the night for Newcastle. He completely ruined the night. The rest of them, though, the rest of that Newcastle squad, the players, manager, coaches, fair play and credit to each and every single one of you. Fair credit to each and every single one of you. You absolutely were brilliant. You were brilliant. You battled for every ball, every first ball, every second ball. Played very, very well throughout. Gave us a really tough time to really settle into our rhythm and play some good football. And, we just didn't. We just couldn't. I think maybe for the first opening half an hour or so of the game, we were overawed by the occasion. I think Newcastle were playing purely based off of adrenaline. And that was obviously being fed to them from the crowd mainly as well. But yeah, like I say, overall, it was just a case of finishing. That was key. It was just very clinical finishing on Liverpool's part, which, if you'll know anything about Liverpool these past few years with the kind of strikers that we've had, hasn't necessarily been our forte, so to speak. It's not necessarily been something we've been known for, being clinical in front of goal. Still getting the job done, mostly. But, yeah, in those kinds of games where we're the ones that don't actually have as many chances as the opposition, we've had to put up with the likes of Darwin Núñez and Luis Diaz ruining and missing chances for us over the course of the past few years. But no, like I say, the 3 points is glorious. St. James's Park is no easy place to go by any stretch of the imagination. It is so difficult to go there and get a win. I don't imagine a lot of teams are going to go there and get a win this season. So to come out of it with the 3 points is massively important. And I was going into that game anyway. I knew the performance was not going to be great from us. I just knew that the occasion, the added incentive of obviously the raw emotion and the aggression shown by the fans, it would feed onto the pitch, and it would all be about who handled the occasion better. And I did feel like overall, Liverpool played the game and Newcastle played for the occasion. And I think that's why Newcastle's levels went majorly sky high, and they were able to feed off that energy, play very well. And I think you saw that it also had a bit of a negative effect with the whole Anthony Gordon situation, which we will get onto later in the stream as well. But I'm very happy with the win. Like I say, the performance, not so much. But there are certain times this season and throughout the entirety of seasons and champions winning titles where there are these games where you don't play well, but you manage to somehow, some way, by hook or by crook, get the 3 points. And that is exactly what Liverpool did last night. So I'm very happy with the win. Commiserations to Newcastle. Their players played out of their skin. I feel like if you are to blame someone, it's Anthony Gordon on the night. But yeah, commiserations there. They played absolutely unbelievable. They were brilliant from start to finish. Yes, Liverpool, the goals that they scored were preventable on our part, but at the same time, I do feel like there's a flip side in which we made those mistakes partially because Newcastle forced us into making them mistakes, which is full credit to them. So I think fair play to each and every single one of those Newcastle players, coaching staff as well. Eddie Howe is a very, very good manager. Do rate Eddie Howe. Do rate Newcastle as an entire club. It's just obviously this Isak situation has sort of soured things a little bit here and there, which obviously hasn't helped. I'm still hoping there is a resolution that sees him go to Liverpool. And I think after last night, you kind of saw that, yes, Newcastle do need a striker, but they can still rally without Isak. And to be fair, it is very much possible that if Anthony Gordon doesn't lose his head, Newcastle probably do go on to win that game. So, if buts and maybes at the end of the day. But the one thing that is a stone cold iron fact is that Liverpool got the job done by hook or by crook. And we're going to get more into that a little later on. But as always with these live streams, we're going to be talking a range of topics and any kind of topics that you guys want to talk about in the chat as well. So please feel free to get involved, as a few of you are. We will go through them in a moment. But as well as that, obviously, don't forget to like and subscribe. All of that good stuff will make for great and interesting reading and will be amazing from you guys. And I really do appreciate each and every single one of you being here on this Tuesday afternoon. So big up yourselves. I hope you're all doing well. Big up to Reluctant Gamer. I feel like have you been in the chat before? I feel like it's a name that rings a bell, but I'm not 100% sure. I'm not 100% sure if I've seen you here before. But big up to you anyway, mate. I hope you're doing well. Commiserations on last night, but your boys definitely did play out of your skin, and you were absolutely incredible. So fair play to you. Newcastle, incredible after... I thought you were. Yeah, big up yourselves. Long time no see. I'm glad you're back, my friend. I'm glad you're back. Newcastle, incredible after disgusting window, and Isak they're at disturbing the squad and the manager. Your boys played well. I mean, I hope the injuries to Tonali and Joelinton are nothing too serious for you. I know there were a few casualties last night. I hope they're not too serious, of course, and we see them back on the pitch soon. But we all knew going into the game it was going to be tough. St. James's Park is no easy place to go, and you've given us a good run for our money before. So we knew it was obviously going to be a tough game. And yeah, I mean, like I say, it was just a case of clinical finishing last night. That was the difference. I think you lose against Arsenal, especially Dominic Szoboszlai's at right back. Big up London Edition. How you doing? Well, my bro. I wouldn't say we're going to lose the game because of Szoboszlai at right back. If anything, Szoboszlai was one of our better performing players last night. I thought Szoboszlai was very, very good. No matter where on the pitch he played, Szoboszlai was actually really good at right back last night. I don't think we're going to lose that game because of him. If anything, if we are to lose the game on Sunday, it's going to be down to set pieces. It's going to be down to... We cannot defend set pieces to save our lives. Newcastle's 2 goals yesterday. One came from a long throw-in that we didn't deal with, and Kirkes is... I don't even know what he's doing to try and defend it, if you can even say that you're trying to defend that cross. But Kirkes was poor in terms of defending yesterday. And the second one, long free kick. that Konate doesn't deal with and Gravenberch doesn't track the runner. Those were the two ways that Newcastle scored yesterday. And next, we have got the set-piece kings of Arsenal, who have already displayed this season that their set pieces are reinforced. Great. I'm going into that game full of confidence that our squad can actually deal with those corners and those free kicks that are going to be coming in left, right, and centre. I so cannot wait for that. My only hope is that Van Dijk puts in another monster of a performance. That is my only hope. That Van Dijk puts in another monster of a performance and has this sort of sixth sense as to where he needs to be. That is my only hope for stopping Arsenal set pieces on Sunday. Because Konate's not going to do it. Konate's been poor so far, which is why part of the title is bring Guehi in. But like I said, we will get more onto that a little later, I'm sure. But big up yourself, man. Hope you're doing well. Ahmed, very good to have you on board with us, my bro. Hope you're doing well. They say we made the worst performance in the last 3 years, despite that we were dominating the game for 60 minutes and 2-0 up, and people still remember the last minutes. I wouldn't say we were dominating. We control from, I would say that from our first goal to their first goal, we controlled the game pretty well. Wasn't entirely convincing, but we got a foothold of the game. We took the sting out of the occasion. We slowed the game down, and then we let them back into it. And when we let them back into it, that's when the crowd got up again. That's where they fed off that energy, and that's where, of course, the momentum completely swung in Newcastle's favour. So I'll say that from the 35th minute till about, when did Newcastle score? Was it like the 60th minute? Something along them lines. I'd say from then till there, it was Liverpool's game to be controlled. The red card obviously helped with that as well. But I wouldn't say we dominated. I wouldn't say that we were amazing. I wouldn't say our performance was great. There was a couple of good performances individually. Like I say, Szoboszlai was good. I thought Curtis Jones was good. Van Dijk was solid. So few good performances in there, but nothing overly great from the overall team perspective. Are you born in Liverpool or are you a glory hunter? I'm not born in Liverpool, but I have been supporting Liverpool since I was 4 years old. So basically, I grew up in the Gerard Houllier era, into Rafa Benitez. The least said about Roy Hodgson, the better. Kenny Dalglish's return, Brendan Rodgers, of course, and then, of course, Jurgen Klopp into Arne Slot. So I've been there through the good and the bad times. And in Hodgson's case, the extremely, very, 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 very dark times. So I've been through it all. I've been through the whole roller coaster of emotions and the whole ride that comes along with it. And not great and not great at the same time. I've had some highs and some amazing highs and also plenty of lows. But that's just football, and that's why we love it. Tonali, Jolinton, and Fabian Schär injured yesterday. Yeah, I hope they're all okay. I know that obviously Schär's was concussion. Jolinton, I think Tonali was his arm. I'm not 100% sure what. I can't remember off the top of my head what Jolinton's was, but yeah, I hope they're all back soon. The only thing I will say on those injuries, this is on some of your fans. I know that I earlier blamed Anthony Gordon, but all week long, I've been seeing certain, not all, but certain Newcastle fans talk about how they're going to rough Liverpool up, how they were going to inflict some pain, some damage on certain Liverpool players, how they were going to injure them, how they were going to see them off on stretchers, in the back of ambulances, in the hospitals, those kind of things. How Jolinton especially was going to perform thug-like behaviour, how Jolinton was going to completely destroy certain Liverpool players and how they would need to bail him out because he would be going to prison by the end of the night. That is... I understand the level of frustration. I still don't understand completely why Liverpool are the bad guys in this situation. Not 100% anyway. I understand the frustration. I understand the annoyance of it. But certain fans have been posting those kind of things all week. Really roughing it. Really like riling up the fans. It was obviously going to be a heated and hostile atmosphere. And I think... those are the kind of fans that deserved the loss yesterday. I'm just throwing it out there. Those are the kind of fans that deserved the loss. I know it's easy for me to say as a Liverpool fan, but those are the ones that deserved it. Once you start calling for your own players to inflict serious pain on opposition players, that's when we have a problem. Because there's no need. Those players are innocent. They just play for a club that wants to buy your best player. That's it. They are nothing to do with negotiations, nothing to do with the decision-making of the club. They just play for that football club. There was absolutely no need to go above and beyond in that moment. And I feel like that kind of heated atmosphere played into the game so much. And it had a good effect on Newcastle for the most part, because obviously you saw them take their game up to a whole new level. They fed off the energy of the crowd. They were celebrating every opportunity. They were celebrating every defensive clearance, every tackle, everything that was going in. You could sense that the atmosphere was just building and building and building. And then the sting got taken out of the game completely by Gravenberch's goal. And that was a turning point, because that just popped like a deflated balloon, the atmosphere completely. And then you saw what Anthony Gordon did. Now, I said in my reaction video earlier, my theory on Anthony Gordon is that he wanted to try and get the crowd back into the game, because the crowd was slowly, or not as loud as what they were anyway. I had a theory that he was trying to get the crowd back into the game. So he's thinking, right, if I go in, proper solid challenge on Van Dijk, that's going to get the crowd up. And then he gets it all wrong. He gets it all wrong. Studs go down the back of his calf, and he's rightfully sent off. That's what I'm thinking anyway. And that's why you saw that all of that talk and all of that kind of riling up of the crowd had both a positive and negative effect, I think. And sometimes that does happen when you put out that kind of stuff on social media. As much as you may think that the players should not pay attention to any of that and go out there and play their normal game, they do. They're on social media. They're on all different kind of social media sites. They are seeing those kind of posts that you're tagging them in, that you're using certain words that they're associated with in. So they are seeing that. And that is probably getting into their heads as well. And that's why I said at the top of the video, Liverpool played the game. That's why we tried to slow things down, take the sting out of the game, quieten the atmosphere, quieten the crowd. We played the game, and Newcastle played the occasion. And that emotional side of it, I did think got the better of Newcastle in, like I say, that particular part of the game. From Liverpool's first goal to Newcastle's first goal. The emotion got too much for them. It was only before that and after that that Newcastle were like, right, we have to keep a level head now. These are there for the taking. And we were. It was only until the final minute that Liverpool decided, you know what, we can actually get the ball down and play. And then we put together the best move of the match. We put together the best move of the match, and the dummy from Szoboszlai was perfect. It will probably get a bit overlooked, but that dummy from Szoboszlai was absolutely perfection. Absolute perfection. And Engamoa's finish was chef's kiss. Chef's kiss. Absolutely perfect. And for a 16-year-old to do that, a 16-year-old to step up in a hostile atmosphere, big occasion like that. Oh, that kid is going to be something special. I'm sure of it. Rio should start every match. Drop your players and replace with Rio, best player in the Premier League if he gets a chance. Age 16 doesn't matter. Look at Yamal. I've been saying that age doesn't matter in this kind of context. The only thing I would say is that I wouldn't start him every game. I'm not going to start him against Arsenal on Sunday, for example. Cody Gakpo's actually been very decent. I thought Cody Gakpo had a good game as well, to be fair. At least for the first half. I think he sort of faded and dwindled a little bit in the second half. But I thought Gakpo was actually pretty decent. And, Engamo's finish was quality. There's no doubt about it. This kid is going to be a superstar. This kid is going to be amazing. And I can't wait to see him blossom into something really special. And like you say, in this context, age does not matter. If you're good enough, you're good enough. Look at Max Dowman at Arsenal. Look at Yamal at Barcelona. Rio Angamo at Liverpool. Look at last year. Arsenal brought through Ethan Nwaneri and they brought through Miles Lewis-Skelly, both 17, 18 years of age. Both took to the Premier League like a duck to water. If you're good enough, you're good enough. It does not matter how old you are. Simple as that. Kirkes and Dom are disasters in free kicks. Defending them, we're just all over the place. We just can't defend. We just cannot defend to save our lives. If Rio wins every game, you'll win the league and challenge for the Champions League. I wouldn't go that far with just Engamoa, but I think he's got a good squad around him. So, fair play. Drop Wirtz. He didn't have a good game yesterday. I don't know. Would we drop him against Arsenal? Would we go with a midfield three of Curtis Jones, Alexis McAllister, if McAllister is back, that is, and Ryan Gravenberch on Sunday? It's a possibility. And we're not going to be playing. The only thing is that Arsenal might play a low block. So I don't know if we will drop him on Sunday, to be fair. I'm expecting Arsenal to play a low block, hit us on the counter, try and win a set piece, that kind of thing. I think Stock should play the offside trap. It's the only solution. I think he's trying. It's not working. I don't know. Our defense is. Like I say, we can't defend set pieces, and if it ain't Van Dijk doing something in the box, Konate's head's in Madrid. Konate's head is completely in Madrid. I'm 29, bro. I'm 29. So big 3-0 next year. Oh dear. We weren't good, but we make worse performances like Forest last season, but people are so much exaggerating. Yeah, we weren't great, but like I say, it's a Champions win, and there are going to be games like this. Like the overall thing I'm taking from this game is nothing but positive. Like, we got the 3 points. We managed to win by hook or by crook. And you know what? Not many teams are going to go to St. James's Park this season and win. That's my prediction anyway. Not many teams are going to be going to St. James's Park and winning, because Newcastle are a very, very good team. A very, very good team. So, to have a poor performance and get out of it pretty much unscathed and with all 3 points, I'm taking that. Performances have to improve. There's no doubt about it. Performances have to improve. It's not sustainable for the second week in a row to go 2-0 up and then lose it to 2-2. That is unacceptable. However, getting the 3 points, that I can live with for now. But things 100% have to improve. Fans are all talk, bro. Just like how Liverpool being big-headed after big-headed after a big win, though. I mean, there are some Liverpool fans out there that are like that. Like I say, I'm not saying all fans. I'm not saying all Newcastle fans were riling up the crowd and doing all of that kind of stuff. Some actually riled up the crowd beforehand and then tried to pass it off like Liverpool fans were doing it. And I'm not saying, and again, I'm not saying certain Liverpool fans were. I didn't see any Liverpool fans that I follow do that, but I'm not going to sit here and say for a stone cold fact that wasn't happening. Because there might have been some other Liverpool fans that I don't follow, that I didn't see, that were going, Liverpool fans should get into these and do this and that and the other. I'm not going to say that. But from the certain Newcastle fans that I did see, I saw that. But from certain Liverpool fans that I also follow, I didn't see it. So I know that fans are all talk and fans obviously get very emotional about it. But yeah, I understand. Like I said, I understand why they do it. I just think certain fans sort of deserved it. Certain fans sort of deserved it, and the only player for Newcastle that deserved it was Anthony Gordon. That was the only player that deserved it for Newcastle. The rest of them, I can't fault their performance. I can't fault what they did. They were absolutely brilliant. Because if I was to sit here and criticize Newcastle, I'd be a hypocrite. Because couple of seasons ago when Liverpool beat Newcastle and when we were down to 10 men, Darwin Núñez brace, I sat here and I praised Liverpool for how well they did to stay in the game. When we went 9 men down to Tottenham in what was unbelievably stupid, inconsistent, ridiculous circumstances, thanks to poor refereeing, I praised Liverpool for the way that we stayed in the game, and we were mightily unlucky to lose that game thanks to a Joel Matip own goal. So I'd be wrong to sit here and criticize Newcastle for it, or not even praise Newcastle for it, but I would praise my own team. So I hope that kind of clears up some consistency. The fans are the loss, but not the players. I don't, like I said, my only argument would be Anthony Gordon. That would be my only argument. He let his teammates down massively last night. Yes, there's nothing wrong with Liverpool being after our best player. To be the best, you got to buy the best. Yeah, that's absolutely correct. I couldn't agree more. Or at the very least, get your academy in order. You never know. You still want Isaac? What will happen if to Ekatike if he joins? Who's going to be bench player? Well, I think we still do. Well, we definitely do need a second striker, because once Ekatike goes off for whatever reason, whether it's fitness or whether it's rotation, and there's going to be big rotation throughout the summer, we definitely need someone to step up in his place. You would imagine Isak would be the starting striker, but with having no pre-season, it might take a bit of time for him to get up to speed. So you probably would imagine that Ekatike will take the reins as striker. And plus, when he's got 3 goals in 3 games for Liverpool, you've got to kind of capitalize on that form. Until that form goes, he ain't going nowhere. So keep that form going. Keep it 100. Bring Isak in. Put him on with like 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 40 minutes to go, whatever the case may be, depending on how the game is going and depending on the fitness levels of the other players. But yeah, because he's had no pre-season, that's going to take him a while to get up to speed. And the international breaks are not going to help either. The international breaks are going to be momentum killers, not just for Isak, but for a lot of players and a lot of clubs. So, the typical international breaks are not going to be great either, but it is what it is. I hope I'm pronouncing the name right, bro. I do apologize if not, but big up Theron. I hope I'm pronouncing that name right, but I do apologize if not. I hope you're well, my friend. Liverpool are trash, he says. Liverpool looks so bad. I'd say we look bad defensively. I wouldn't say we're too bad going forward. It hasn't quite clicked completely yet, but it is getting there. It is getting there. Salah, big contract, looks like Alba Ozil-esque. I'll tell you why it's not. Well, I mean, he got an assist last night, so he's still amongst the GA for this season, let's say. He's still got 1 goal, 1 assist. He weren't at his best last night. It wasn't at his best last week either. Here's the thing. Salah just needs to keep persisting with it. Because eventually, the team will adapt differently. And eventually, opposition teams will work out Liverpool have more threatening players this season than just Salah. The team needs to give the ball to Wirtz a lot more. The team needs to look more for Gakpo on the other side. And eventually, the opposition teams will be like, well, we've just stuck 2 men on Salah, so there's got to be some space over there that we're not covering. Oh, we're not covering Wirtz. Oh, we're not covering Ekitike's runs. Oh, we're not covering Gakpo. And then once that happens, the persistence of Salah will shine through, where he's then freed up to do whatever he likes. And I think also Frimpong is a massive element of that as well. A lot of Frimpong is going to help Salah this season. The runs he will make inside, the runs he'll make around the outside, getting to the byline, it will help free up Salah. So Salah just needs to keep on persisting with it. It hasn't been a great start to the season from him by any means, but he's still got 1 goal, 1 assist. So I think it's early to be making them shouts, my friend. But like I say, last season, we relied on him a hell of a lot. We relied on Salah a hell of a lot last season. This season, we've won games without his main influence. That's a good thing for the team. That is a good thing for the club that we can do it without him, especially considering that in December, he's going to be gone for about a month with AFCON. So I'm not overly concerned by it. Like I say, I would like him to perform better. I'd like him to pick up where he left off last season, 100%. But am I worried that he got a big contract and now he's not going to perform? No, because his mentality is elite. His physical well-being is elite. He's not Ozil or Aubameyang that's just going to drop tools because he's now earning a lot of money, or more money than what he was before. So I'm not necessarily worried by it. Big up Bush Baptist. How you doing? Well, my bro. Lovely to have you on board with us, my friend. You say big up Fletcher lad. Did you see that team of champions last night? All teams are going to come out as like Newcastle did, so we may as well get used to it. Yeah, like I say, it was a massive champions win last night. Massive champions win last night from Liverpool. And like I say, Newcastle played out of their skin, man. Newcastle played out of their skin. We know what they're about. We know that they're going to be tough. We know that their main asset is in midfield. I thought Bruno Guimaraes was quality. You could argue the same way with Konate. Maybe a little bit fortunate to stay on the pitch. But overall, Guimaraes was quality. No doubt about it. He was absolutely unbelievable last night. He was unplayable in that midfield. And fair play to him. But yeah, Liverpool hung in there, man. Liverpool really did hang in there and got their rewards at the end of it. Clinical finishing was the difference on the night, my friend. Barcelona should pursue Rio. Liverpool don't deserve Rio. Oh, I think we do. That's why Chelsea have stopped us from scouting their academy games now, because they wanted to keep hold of Rio. They probably would have sold him to a Barcelona for about 40, 50 million at the age of 16, 17. So yeah, we just decided to give him a clearer path into the senior squad, and hopefully long may that continue. When do you think Rio should be in the starting lineup? When he's 18, 19? Build him up this season. build him up this season, give him the Carabao Cup games, give him the FA Cup games, give him 20 odd minutes here and there. Maybe against teams like Burnley and West Ham, you could potentially start in then, depending on where those games fall in the calendar, and obviously how it goes from, Tuesday to Saturday, or Wednesday, Saturday, Wednesday, Sunday, Tuesday, Sunday, whatever the kind of rotation is for Champions League games into Premier League games. But like I say, I don't know starting wise, but I am very much looking forward to seeing more of Rio Engamoa going forward. Hopefully that will be the case. Rio is going to start the League Cup match, and it will get taken from there. Yeah, I think he will. I think he's going to get the cup games this season. I don't know if we will go in for a winger now, unless, of course, we can buy a winger who is versatile enough to be a striker. If obviously the Isak deal doesn't go through. But yeah, I'm thinking now Engamoa's second in command to Gakpo. That's my thoughts anyway. And I've rated this kid. And he was amazing in pre-season as well. And I was hoping and praying we were going to see more of him. And then last night makes his Premier League debut. And I must say, I've probably watched that goal about 100 times already today. And it gets better and better every time. Absolutely made up for him. That is the point. Newcastle Stadium is arguably the toughest stadium after Anfield. Yeah, it's a horrible, horrible away ground to go to for any club, and that's a massive compliment to Newcastle. Like I say, the only thing that you were missing last night was a prolific goal scorer. That's the only thing, ironically, that you were missing all night. And it may seem harsh again when I say it, but you've had all summer to bring in a goal scorer. You've had all summer to bring in a striker. Even one that's second in command. Even one to replace Callum Wilson. You still haven't replaced Callum Wilson. And that is... Forget the Isak situation. You didn't even replace Callum Wilson. How difficult is it to replace someone that spends more time on the medical bench than the actual subs bench? How difficult is that? And yet, you didn't do it. It must have... Any striker would have been better than Anthony Gordon, because Gordon's not a striker. I don't really have much sympathy. You've probably missed out on... Well, you've missed out on 5 more points than you should have. Maybe you should have had, just simply for the reason that you didn't go out there and buy a striker. That's on the club. That's on the club. Like, again, it may seem harsh, but it's a glaring problem. A glaring problem that you've just not addressed. You failed to address it. Liverpool didn't beat same team Newcastle were yesterday, though. Newcastle are going through rough patch. Psychologically, I don't rate Liverpool one bit. I think we're starting off the season slow. I get it. We weren't great, but we never played great at St James's Park anyway. Like, even last season, when we went to St James's Park last season, we had Salah drag us through that game. If it wasn't for Salah, we wouldn't have got a point from that game. So we never play well at St James's Park anyway. But like I said, I think Newcastle performance yesterday, I think, was in large part them, of course. No denying that. But I think that little extra that they had was from the crowd, was from their energy, was from their atmosphere that the squad overall fed off, and it allowed them to go to a whole new level last night. And fair play to each and every single one of them. St James's Park can be a tough place to go and play away at, as proof last night. Loss at St James's Park can't be seen as a mecca for losses. It's just a very, very tough place to go. It's just a very, very tough place to go. Like, I guarantee you, like, this season, like, Man City will probably drop points there. Arsenal normally drop points there, so I would imagine Arsenal probably will. Maybe even Newcastle could win that game if they buy a striker in the next week or so. That's just the way that I see it. Congratulations to Liverpool, though, getting that win. Winning is winning. Yeah, absolutely. Sometimes it just needs to happen like that. And like I say, it's a champions win. Champions find ways to win even when they're not playing very well. And we've seen that time and time again. Go back to Sir Alex Ferguson days where he would manage to grind out a win from absolutely nowhere, even though his team weren't playing well. Go back to Jose Mourinho. All the top managers of all the top teams that have ever won anything have had to go through games like this. And I'm not saying that Liverpool are definitely destined now to go on and win the Premier League title and retain it. But we could look back on results like these and go, that was a massive win for us. Because it is a massive mental block. Like I said, I keep saying it. St James's Park is one of the toughest places in the Premier League to go. Now that we've won there, that should be a major injection of confidence and momentum. And especially going into Arsenal on Sunday, that should be a massive injection of confidence. Gordon let us down in last getting suspended before Carabao Cup semi-final and final. He just has a tendency, doesn't he, to lose his head at times. He just has a tendency to lose his head at times. And again, he did it last night, and I think it did cost you big time. Big up, Niche fan. How you doing? Well, my bro. Lovely to have you here with my friend. One thing people are forgetting pretty quick is that Salah, Virgil, and everyone else in that team who knew are suffering. You can see it in Salah's face. He is not himself. So give him a break. Yeah, it's obviously a horrible situation, and I know that it could obviously have a long-term effect on certain players. I just wonder if that is genuine. Sort of, does Slot maybe try and take him out the firing line a little bit? Does maybe Slot keep him out the team for a bit, put him on the bench, not even maybe put him in the match day squad from time to time? If that is genuinely the case, I feel like maybe it might be best for Salah's mental well-being to do that, just in case what you are saying is genuine. Obviously, I hope he's all well, and I hope he is finding some way to cope. But it is a possibility. It is certainly a possibility. It is not looking for Verts always look like a donkey in a lion's den. I don't know necessarily what you mean by that, my friend, but okay. I agree to what you say. Okay, thank you very much. Chelsea lost that on Rio big time. Yeah. Like I say, that's why they don't let us go to their academy games no more. That's why we're not allowed to scout Chelsea's academy, because they know that we will have a good eye for their talent, even if they don't have it themselves, or they just see them as money. So I hear Crystal Palace are getting ready to bid for Akanji from City due to them about to lose Guehi to Liverpool in the next couple of days. Hopefully that is the kind of domino. That falls in order for Liverpool to sign. I'm hoping that's the case. I'm really, really hoping that's the case. I don't understand why it's taken this long, to be perfectly honest. This should have been tied up weeks, months ago. I don't understand why it's taking so long. I'm praying to God we don't miss out on him. I'm praying to God, and I'm not even religious, but I'm praying to God, I'm praying to someone that we just finally get this deal over the finish line, done and dusted. I don't want us to risk next year. I don't want us to risk going into a sort of tug of war, a bit of bidding war, or whatever it may be with other clubs for the potential free transfer of Mark Guehi. I don't want us to run that risk. I just want him in now. I don't want us to run the risk of having to trust Konate to actually remain focused on a game for about 90 odd minutes without him losing his head completely. I don't want to trust Joe Gomez, who has got Weetabix for legs, to actually remain fit for longer than 3 games. You know what I mean? I don't want us to end up putting our faith in this 18-year-old kid from Serie A, who, by all intents and purposes, probably could be a world beater at centre back. To be perfectly honest, from the little bits that I've seen and from the things that I've read and heard about from other people, but I don't want us to be relying on that going forward. That's what the senior ones are there for, which is why we should be going for Mark Guehi. And if Ibrahim Konate wants to go to Madrid, then let him go to Madrid. Let him go to Madrid. It's been clear in these first couple of games that Konate is not all there mentally. So you may as well move in there physically as well. That real goal was so critical, was so clinical, was clinical like Henry. I ain't making comparisons, but I know what you're saying. Big old Jordan Hyman, bro. Are you doing well, my dude? Guys, if you haven't already, go and show some love and support to my boy Jordan. Doing some great stuff on his channel. I'm sure there'll be something for everybody over there. So please do go and check him out. Doing some brilliant stuff over there. At St. James's Park is a tougher stadium than Anfield. Anfield just has a better squad. Interesting take there. Don't personally agree with it completely, but I understand what you're saying. Both are still very, very tough. It's hard for Newcastle to get a striker because teams like Chelsea and others come offer them. Hopefully something happens soon. Vissa, 60 million, not worth it. These clubs expect Saudi pay extra. Here's what I will say to that, though. You've lost players to Man United. Manchester United. You lost Brian Mbeumo and Benjamin Sesko and Mateus Cunha, all to Man United. Not a Champions League competing Man United. Not a Man United of the Sir Alex Ferguson era. But this current Man United team. I'm just throwing it out there. I'm just throwing that out there. Where's Isaac? Hopefully on his way to Liverpool. Hopefully on his way to Liverpool, bro. Who's going to be top 6? My predictions at the start of the season were Liverpool, City, Chelsea, Arsenal, Man United and Brighton. And I still stand by that right now. The only thing I may change is I might put Arsenal above Chelsea now. Now that I've seen they've definitely got Eze and Gyökeres started firing. That's the only real change I'd make. I still think in the end both United and Brighton will get it right. They just need to put the ball into the back of the net. Both teams. Both teams have actually started the season off very good at creating chances. They just can't put the ball into the back of the net right now. I do think eventually they will get it right, though. I do think eventually they will get it right. Have you ever been in Anfield or St James? I've not been St James's Park. I've obviously been Anfield. I've not been St James's Park. I would love to go to St James. I would love to go to a Newcastle game. I'm sure the atmosphere is absolutely incredible because it always looks incredible on TV. But yeah, it's just the travel as well isn't ideal. But I would love to one day go to a Newcastle game. I'd love to one day go to a Newcastle game. Fair play to you. And Buemo picked history. He's a United man. Yeah, but sometimes there are or players have obviously specific choices, fans of clubs, but they still pick other clubs. Jadon Sancho, I believe, was a Chelsea fan, but he still went to United. So there are certain cases where it's like that. Like I say, it doesn't take away from the point that you've been rejected several times by several different players to certain clubs, and you still cannot bring in a replacement for Callum Wilson. It does look like you will eventually get the Strad Larson deal done, though. That seems to be what's the rumours going around today are you're going to make an improved bid, and that improved bid should be accepted. Why you'd pay 60-odd million for Strad Larson and not Visser, I don't know. I don't know why that would be the case, but I would have thought Visser's more proven. But you do you. And then obviously Nicholas Jackson's going on loan to Bayern Munich. Why don't you just get a loan deal? He seemingly wanted to go to Newcastle. Why don't you just get a loan deal, option to buy? That covers at least 1 year. And then you can reassess the striker situation next year. Win-win. What makes you think Brighton's sixth? They're just a very good squad. They're just a very good squad who do their homework very well. They're consistent enough where it's sort of like they're inconsistently consistent, if that makes sense. Where they're going to give the bigger teams a run for their money, but at the same time, the teams that are in and around them, they're going to be a bit tricky to play against. And then the teams that are lower down, they are banana skins that sometimes they do slip up on. But they're just a very good team. They're just a very good team, do their homework so exceptionally well, and they just bring in these absolute nobodies every single year that turn into real diamonds. I just love the way that Brighton do their business. And I just think that this season, maybe again, if I am looking at it, maybe Tottenham. Maybe Tottenham started the season off very well under Thomas Frank. Of course, it is Tottenham, so we have to obviously say it's a bit early days, that kind of thing. We shall see. We shall see. But yeah, I do rate Brighton. I know you need two strikers. I know you need two. We still need a striker. We obviously need two strikers, especially after the heartbreaking and tragic incident that involved Diogo Jota this summer. So, yeah, we obviously need two strikers as well. We've got one. Now we just need to find the other. Visser is older, that's why. Yeah, but he's only 28, 29. He's only 28, 29. It's not like this whole Football Manager FIFA thing of like once they hit 30, that's it, they're done. The guy's like 28, 29. He's Premier League proven. He's scoring 15 to 20 league goals a season. Like, it's more proven than what Strad Larson is. Strad Larson, by the way, was good. I didn't realise next door were drilling, but apologies for that if you picked that up. Do you smoke or drink? I don't smoke, but I occasionally drink. Where will Tottenham finish? I put them to finish 7th. But like I say, they started off the season really well under Thomas Frank. So I wouldn't be surprised if they were to finish higher. I'd say they finish anywhere between 5th and 7th. I think 5th is probably the highest that they go. Do you think Isak will go Liverpool? If yes, what price? I think 130 plus add-ons of taking it to like 140 is going to make it a done deal. Do I think he'll go? Yeah, I still think he will. Because I think Newcastle will get one striker and then they'll let him go. I don't buy in. If they can get 2, then if they can get 2, then great. Then that's obviously very good for them. But I think if they get 1, I think they just want to wash their hands of the situation right now. I think they get 1, they wash their hands of the situation, and then they go for a second in January if needs be. They'll just need to get to January. That's all. So Vissa, 60 million, worth it. I would take Vissa. It's a tricky one. Is 60 million for Vissa worth it? I don't necessarily think it is, but at the same time, I think you can maybe bring down the price a little bit to about 50, probably 50, 55, somewhere in that region. That's it. The only thing that has annoyed me with the Isak situation and the Vissa situation is that everybody's saying that we've apparently been disrespectful because we've been offering a world record fee but not meeting the asking price of Newcastle. But yet nobody is seemingly calling out the fact that Newcastle are not meeting the asking price of Brentford. But that seems to be okay. Like, that is the thing that has annoyed me so much. There have been other things as well. Don't get me wrong. There have been other things and other parallels in both situations, or just purely on the Isak thing that has just really, really annoyed me about the entirety of this situation. But that really did annoy me. The fact that we put in a world record bid for Isak, and apparently that's seen as disrespectful. We're seen as being entitled, which I've still not really got that argument. And yet Newcastle do the same thing, but nothing gets called out about it. It made no sense to me. Maybe they want a younger player for 60 million. Yeah, I mean, maybe that is the case. Like I said, I think it just depends what you're going for. It depends on whether you're going for potential or whether you're going for the here and now. And let's face it, Newcastle haven't exactly played this very well either. We all know what's happening with the Isak situation, which makes you somewhat desperate. It makes Newcastle desperate, which means the price is obviously going to be hyped up. And you've already shown your cards, so to speak, because you've already proven that you were willing to go 70 million on Ekatike. You were willing to go 70 million on Sesko before both of them got rejected. So teams know you've got like 70 odd million that you want to spend on a striker. So they're looking at it and going, well, unfortunately, we're just going to have to hike the price up. We're going to have to hike the price up because we know how much money you've got. We know you're in desperate need of a striker. So you're going to have to pay the money. And that's where Newcastle have slightly gone wrong in this transfer window. And don't get me wrong, it's not just solely down to them either. I don't think Isak putting out statements and things like that has helped at all in that sense, which has actually made Liverpool's job harder. But again, I don't understand this whole narrative that it's Liverpool's fault. It's Liverpool are the bad guys in this situation. It's, I don't know, it's very strange to me. Big up Jordan. How you doing? Well, my bro. There's only 5 days left of till the window shuts this weekend. Going to be exciting with all the games and windows. Yeah, it closes Monday, doesn't it? I want to say Monday. I'm not even 100% sure what time it closes. What time does transfer window close? 7 p.m. on Monday. 7 p.m. It's normally an 11 o'clock deadline. That's different. That is very different. But yeah, 7 p.m. on 7 p.m. on Monday is the deadline. So things have to move very quickly. And I'm hoping things do. I was hoping something was going to happen today in terms of Guehi. I thought last night would have been major alarm bells ringing that we need to tighten up our defense and work on that. But apparently not. Apparently not. I appreciate the kind words, bro. Thank you very much. And big up to each and every single one of you that's here. If you're still here, guys, and you're enjoying the content, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe if you are new. Both things will always and forever be greatly appreciated. And, of course, get involved in the chat. We'd love to know what you guys have to say, whether it is about Liverpool, Newcastle, Arsenal up next, or about any transfers or anything else. It doesn't have to be Liverpool or Newcastle. It can be any other conversation on football that you guys want to talk about. I love these streams. I love doing them. And I just love talking football with you guys. So feel free to get involved. Whether you've got some hot takes, whether you've got some intriguing insight, news, anything that you guys want to talk about, hit up that chat, people. Who do you think will win Champions League? Ooh. It's always, it's difficult to say at this early stage. You'd probably say that your favourites are probably going to be your PSGs, Liverpools. You could maybe you've got to throw in Real Madrid, even though I don't necessarily think they will. You've got to throw in those kinds of teams. I don't think you can discount City. I think a slight outsider is Chelsea, maybe, considering that they are seemingly a bit of a cup team now. And like I say, you can never rule them out of cup competitions. And we've seen that they've done it before, where they weren't exactly the favourites to win the Champions League back in 2012. And they did that against Bayern Munich. And they weren't exactly the favourites to do it. I want to say it was 2021. I want to say it was 2021. It could have been the year after. No, year after was Real Madrid, wasn't it? Because they beat us. Yeah, 2020 was Bayern. 2021 was Chelsea. 2022 was Real Madrid. 23 was City because of the treble. 24 was Madrid again, and then obviously this year PSG. Pretty confident that's the timeline. Yeah, I'm pretty confident that's the timeline. Yeah, so Chelsea, you can't rule out Chelsea. Can't rule out Chelsea in this. But yeah, there's quite a few. Like I say, it's always difficult to kind of predict because you never quite know who's going to get who in the league phase. And then, of course, you have the playoffs. Then, of course, you have the knockout stages from there. So you can never quite tell. But it's going to be an interesting one this year. Especially because now that we're all used to the format now. And obviously the playoff bits and, coming first in the league does not mean anything. So it'll be interesting to see. It's going to be an interesting year this year. No doubt about it. 70 million for Ekitike is worth it, bro. Stats are actually higher than Isak in the last 90 games. He's also 23. Yeah, I've said before, he's a younger version of Isak. He is a slightly rougher, slightly he's a slightly rougher, slightly greener, rougher around the edges version of Alexander Isak. Isak's a more polished version of Ekitike, which is why I like both, because I think both will seamlessly fit in. The way that Ekitike has is the way that I see Isak doing, but slightly more in tune with the Premier League. And Ekitike can get to that level, and Ekitike probably will get to that level. But it will probably take Ekitike a year or two to properly bed in. Like, he started off the season very, very well, and I honestly have nothing but praise for Ekitike and the way that he's fitted in so far. But I just think Isak's slightly more polished, slightly more refined, and long term, if we can get both in, it looks very, very good. Very, very good. Yeah, it did used to be about 12 o'clock or 11 p.m. I don't know why they've changed. I think the only reason I can think they've changed it is because normally it does end on the final day of the month. But because the month ends on a Sunday, and obviously there are games taking place on Sunday, like Liverpool versus Arsenal, and there's actually a 7 o'clock game on Sunday as well. I want to say it's like Palace Aston Villa. I know it is Palace because obviously Palace have got a Europa League game Europa Conference League game on Thursday. So I think Palace have like a 7 o'clock game. I want to say it's Aston Villa, but I could be wrong. That's the only reason why I can think of as to why they've moved it to the day after and why they've put it as a 7 o'clock deadline, because they weren't meant to have that amount of extra time, but because of how the month has fallen, I think that is the reason why. I do appreciate it, mate. I do appreciate you and appreciate everybody else that is here watching, listening, and taking part and has also contributed. You guys are amazing. I cannot honestly thank you enough. Did we cover all the game? I think we covered all the game. I think we hit all the talking points that I want to talk about. Anyway, I think the overall game was very good in Newcastle's favour, but Liverpool were just clinical. The Anthony Gordon red card was stupid. I thought the referee was drowning in that game. And it's not just for one team either. I think he was poor for both teams. I think the referee did not want to be there, and he was so incompetent again. Like, you could tell he didn't want to be there by the way that in the opening 10-20 minutes there were a couple of poor challenges. He didn't give Liverpool anything for like the first 20 odd minutes. And then he started brandishing his yellow card left, right, and centre. anytime Liverpool player breathed on a Newcastle player, it was free kick. And then for a while afterwards, it was the other way around. I guess you could say in that aspect he was consistently inconsistent, but I thought the referee was poor for both sides yesterday. Like I say, the only thing he did eventually get right was obviously sending off Anthony Gordon, but he obviously needed to go to VAR for that to happen, and not even Van Dijk showing the referee the stud marks down his calf was enough to maybe go, oh, maybe it's a red card without me having to double check it. But he double checked it anyway and eventually arrived at the right decision. So, yeah, fair play for that one. But, yeah, I thought he was so poor. He lost the game completely. He could have easily done something to maybe calm the game down, but didn't. And from there, Anthony Gordon got sent off. From there was other fouls that occurred. From there, Newcastle were unhappy that Konate didn't get sent off for a second bookable offence, which, again, I said in my reaction, if he had been, I wouldn't have been angry at the referee or anything. I would have more been angry at Konate for giving the referee the option to give him a second booking and send him off. But you could also then say that Bruno Guimaraes' tackle on Federico Chiesa, whilst on a yellow card himself for, I think it was actually for protesting the Konate incident, could have landed him in hot water as well, which would have been potentially a second yellow card. So there were swings and roundabouts for both teams from the referee's part. We all knew going into the game it was going to be feisty, though. This is the problem I have. We all know that it was going to be a feisty game. And yet, the referee decided to get hooked up into the moment. Can't be doing that. Can't, especially from an experienced referee as well. I know that they're all as bad as each other, and they're all as useless as each other. You can't be getting into those kinds of situations as a referee. Got to know when to draw the line. Got to know when to do things properly. And he didn't. He really, really didn't. Will Arsenal win a cup this season? I think they win the Carabao. I'm gonna give them the Carabao. I don't think they win any of the majors. I don't think they win the FA Cup. I don't think they win the Champions League. I don't think they win the Premier League. But I will give them the Carabao Cup. Jordan says he doesn't want Real Madrid. We know what's going to happen if we get Xabi, Trent, and Liverpool fans. It's going to happen, bro. There are certain. I think every year there are certain fixtures in the league/group phase that get somewhat fixed. It happens seemingly every year. I mean, Liverpool got Real Madrid last year in the league phase, if you remember. And I think in previous years, they like narrative and storylines. I wouldn't be surprised if we did. Remember when Haaland went from Dortmund to City? Who did City get in the group phase that year? Oh, Dortmund. When Jude Bellingham went to Real Madrid, who did Real Madrid get in the group phase? Oh, Dortmund. So, coincidence? Maybe. Coincidence, in my personal opinion? I think not. So, I personally do think we're probably going to get. I think we're going to get them. I think we are probably going to get Real Madrid, to be honest. So, yeah, buckle your seatbelts. It's going to be another interesting one. He's at Liverpool play and coming off the wings. Isak is better, like you said, than a little bit more polished, but Ekatike today can get some amount of goals as Isak's, same amount of goals as Isak still. I don't deny it. I don't deny that Ekatike is going to score a lot of goals. He's going to get the chances 100%. Problem, like I said, a lot of people were saying in the summer when he came in, he doesn't get enough goals, that kind of thing. And I was saying, like, he wasn't the main man at Frankfurt last season for all of it. He was the main man for like half a season when Marmoush left. He was a main man for half a season. Marmoush left, and he stepped up. He will get goals. The creativity's there. We just have to unlock Wirtz more. Frimpong's obviously only had one game, but his creativity from that right-hand side and obviously his pace and power is going to be very, very big for not just himself, but for obviously creating for others as well. Salah hasn't been at his best this season, but you do feel like if or when it starts to click for him, that's obviously going to be massive for our creativity. Kirkez has been somewhat hit and miss so far in his opening 2 games, but again, he's got a wand of a left foot on him. So when that all happens, it's yeah, it's going to be big. Jordan, I'm going to post it. I just posted a link to your channel in my chat. There you go. Should be there for you. I'm just trying to find it. That was all. Yeah, fingers crossed that that all goes according to plan. How you get Isak personally? Give Isak what he wants. Be with the money, 140 million plus add-ons. He is our contract. Do you do what's in the contract? It's that whole loyalty argument again, isn't it? It's that whole loyalty argument, which I've argued all summer. I'm argued about this whole loyalty thing all summer long, and I just want to see it happen the other way, just to see what the takes are from certain Newcastle fans. I want to see it where your club are forcing a player out that's on 2 or 3 years worth of contracts, what the overall feeling is. Just saying, it works both ways. Oh, I didn't realize you had a channel, bro. Sorry, I didn't realize you had a channel. Yes, guys, go and follow Reluctant Gamer. I've only just realised he's got a channel, so I'll be definitely reviewing that once this stream is over and done with. But yeah, go and follow Reluctant Gamer over on his channel. I'll just drop his. Oh, you done it already? You done it already? There we go. It's in the chat, people. It's in the chat. So head on over there, show him some love, show him some support, and I will do the same by subscribing right now. There we are, done and dusted. I will definitely be checking that out after this stream. Okay, so apparently, according to the Daily Mail, Chelsea are demanding that Liverpool pay them compensation for Rio Ngamoa after he left them for free in 2024. A decision by a Premier League panel has not arrived almost a year after he made the transfer. Okay. Weird. Very weird. Very weird. It's all about the money. It's all about the money. There we go. Ah, love it. Chelsea now wants compensation. They got it. They missed out. Yeah, they're trying to rinse it for whatever they've got. They're just trying to rinse it for whatever they've got left to throw at this. Yeah, like I said, they've had a very good transfer window. They've shifted so many dead players, and they buy so many dead players, and then they just move them on for big money. And it's like, how do you do that? And admittedly, most of them are because they managed to sell to Arsenal for whatever reason. Because Mikel Arteta has this really weird thing about shopping for players that are unwanted by Chelsea. So yeah, that's a bit strange, but it is what it is. And yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? Anyway, we're gonna wrap up on this, but we're gonna just go a few more minutes because there's other kind of bits that I want to kind of throw into the conversation as well. So, let's say last night, champions win for Liverpool, fantastic, but there were major problems in terms of depth-wise in the attack. We obviously need another striker. That's a given. Ekatike can't run the line all on his own all season. We're going to need to look into that properly. Bringing on Federico Chiesa against Big Dan Burn weren't going to work properly. Like, I know obviously it worked last season against Bournemouth, but wasn't quite the same effect this time around, unfortunately. And another thing is the defense. That needs to be addressed. Canate, if your head is in Madrid, go to Madrid. Kirkez, learn to defend the back post better. Learn to defend the back post better. Like, I can't stress that enough. Ugh. When's the next stream? It is maybe tomorrow. What am I doing tomorrow? Anything? Is there a Friday night game this week? Is there a Friday night game this week? Mm-hmm. No, there's not. Next stream might be tomorrow if something does break. I'm hoping something does break because obviously, like you said earlier, we're like 5 days away from the end of the transfer window, so things obviously have to move quickly. So I am hoping that there is going to be something that breaks. So maybe tomorrow, if not Thursday, Friday, I'm unavailable, so won't be Friday, but hopefully tomorrow or Thursday. We shall see. We shall definitely see. Big up Ozan, my brother. How you doing, my dude? Lovely to have you on board with us this afternoon. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, I like it. I like it. I'm so glad that Jurgen is a red. Very, very nice indeed. You know, for doing mobile streams, a lot of mobile streams get recommended through the algorithm. As in what, like walking around out in public, that kind of thing, and talking. I don't know. Maybe if I get more sort of popular on this, maybe that could be an avenue to go down. I just more like interacting with the chat and going through things that way. I'm not I'm not so much an out and about sort of stream thing, if that's what you're going for anyway. I probably lost it when Rio scored. I destroyed a coffee table. Oh, Jesus. Oh, I guess you're having to pay for a new coffee table or fix the coffee table today. I guess that's the kind of repercussion from your actions last night, I assume. But I know what you mean. That moment was incredible. Like the moment shouldn't have had to have happened. Let's put it that way. Like it still would have been nice if Rio did come on and score the third goal and what would have hopefully then been a 3-0 win or a 3-1 win at worst over Newcastle. But yeah, I agree. It was an incredible moment, an absolutely phenomenal moment with Rio and Gamoa, and obviously 90 plus 10. There's always late drama in this fixture. There is always late drama in this fixture. Darwin Núñez twice in a matter of minutes. Fabio Carvalho, remember Fabio Carvalho's winner, 90 plus, I think it was 8. I think it was 98th minute in. Carvalho winner in injury time, proper deep into injury time. Yeah, it's absolute late drama, absolutely incredible, incredible things going on in this fixture. So many Chelsea fans wishing they didn't sell the Cobham product. Yes, they are. They messed up. They messed up big time. They messed up big time, and now their reaction is for us to never, ever see another Chelsea Academy game ever again. That's the response. No, I mean vertical live stream. I forgot some of the old stream. I will find out next time. It's where people scroll and hit different streams. Oh. I've got no idea. I've got no idea about any. Again, that might be something I need to look into. I don't know. I might need to look into that. But we shall see. We shall see. You're going to replace it. You're going to show up tomorrow. IKEA, I guess. IKEA, maybe. Or is it just something that you're not too bothered about. Either way, you've at least got a good story now. Good story. I guess coffee tables aren't meant to withstand the weight of a full-grown man. Well, that's why they're called coffee tables and not full-grown men tables. If they were called full-grown men tables, you'd be fine, wouldn't you? But it's meant to withstand coffee. Hence the name, bro. Hence the name. Oh, bless you. Yeah. So basically, get the Guehi deal done. Get this Isak deal or saga done one way or another. If not, we definitely need a plan B. I'm not 100% confident now we have a plan B. I would have thought we did, but I don't know if we do. Our plan B might have been Rodrigo, but he seemingly wants 300k a week, and I don't think we will go that far. It is what it is. But yeah, Guehi, done deal. Get it done. Isak, situation. Get that sorted. Arsenal, Sunday. For the love of God. For the love of all things holy. Arnie Slot, if you can hear me, if you are somehow, some way, some form hearing me speak, please, for the love of God, teach your defenders, teach your midfielders, teach your attackers how to defend from set pieces. Please, I am begging you, for a team that gets a lot of set pieces, teach them how to attack them, because we don't do well with attacking them either. For a team that concedes certain set pieces, please teach them how to defend them. It's a fairly tall enough squad, which you would imagine that in the air, we should be okay at defending them. But clearly, we are not. We are not in any position to do that. So I'm begging. Begging. Please, learn to defend them. We shall see. We shall find out on Sunday. But guys, I can't honestly thank you. Oh, just dropped my mouse there. Can't honestly thank you for all being here. You guys are absolutely awesome. Hit the like button on the way out if you haven't already. Subscribe if you are new. Both things are always, and I'd be greatly appreciated. And Arsenal's strength is scoring from them set pieces. I'm nervous. That's exactly why I'm saying it, bro. That's exactly why I'm praying. I'm praying to all the gods and more. I'm praying to anybody and everybody that will listen for Liverpool to be on top of their game from set pieces on Sunday, whether it's scoring from them or whether it is defending them. I am praying to God that we learn to deal with this stuff for Sunday, because we're going to need all the help we can get. We're going to need all the help that we can get. Like I say, guys, thanks everyone for being here. Hit the like button if you haven't already. Subscribe if you're new. Both things will always and forever be greatly appreciated. Hit what will now be the chat, the comment section. If you want anything to talk about for future live streams or anything that you want to talk about and discuss from this live stream, really do appreciate you guys being here. You guys are absolutely awesome. Thanks for going on the stream today. Great chat. No, thank you, my bro. Thank you. You've really kept it going and you offered some different insight. And of course, like I say, you're from a different perspective to me, being in this instance on the other side of things, being a Newcastle fan. So I really do appreciate you being here and throwing in your opinions and questions and all of that kind of good stuff, which, like I say, is what I love to do. I love to talk about. And I cannot thank you guys enough. You guys are absolutely awesome. Yeah, definitely see you in the next stream. I'll see you in the next video, stream, short video, whatever it may be. I don't even know what it will be next, to be perfectly honest with you. That is that's just the magic of whatever's to come next. That's the magic of the unknown. Yes, fingers crossed that Mark Guehi will be soon. And if that does come, I will go live at my earliest convenience to discuss all things Mark Guehi. Thank you, everybody. Really appreciate it. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll speak to you all again very, very soon. Take care of yourselves. Have a good day. Goodbye.